Welcome back to the Pesky Report, episode 498, presented by Beyond the Monster. I'm Jordan, joined by Brian, and we got Jason filling in for Jack today. How are we doing today, boys?
Good.
Solid. Vibes are better.
Yeah.
Vibes are much more up now because you won the series. Better taste in your mouth. So I'm happy.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have been able to pull out an extra game in this series, but I felt like, the Cubs, they kept bringing it up on the broadcast today that this is probably by far the best team the Red Sox have faced so far in 2025, and I have a hard time disagreeing. Maybe Milwaukee, but at the time they faced them, not so much. Record-wise, they're right there with the Cubs, but not at the time. But yeah, Sox just got finished with their 3-game set at Wrigley Field, lose the series 2-1, but in like the inverse of what we were used to here on the weekend show, the Red Sox win the series finale after losing the first 2. So we at least get to be kind of hyped up while we record.
That's right.
So that's nice. And especially in the fashion in which they won. It wasn't it was ugly early, but it ended nice. So the vibes are high. First series out of the All-Star break. Curious about some general takeaways just about this team, about the outlook of this team, really, because I know people are ready to sell at the deadline after yesterday. Brian, what is your main takeaway from this series with Chicago?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people, they didn't want the All-Star break to happen, let's keep it going. And then it's like, all right, you get your 3 hardest fucking series coming up right after the All-Star break. And, their record's identical 3 years in a row and all that bullshit. And they lost the first 2 games. You're like, really? And just kind of you're looking at these games and there's plenty of opportunity there that they could have actually done something and maybe won some of these games. And I think kind of how Jason was saying, it was it was nice that, they finally won the last one. I think, when Abreu hit the home run, I was like, Jesus, fuck, it's oh man, where's this been all series? And I think that he grounded out or did something his previous at bat. And I think he either missed a pitch or he thought he got quick pitched or something they said on the EI broadcast, but the next at bat, he was just, he's not a bat flipper. And it was pretty epic, the bat flip when he hit that home run. And it was kind of and then just, it was just nice to see where was that team the first 2 series,
Yeah, I got you definitely there. Jason, what's your main takeaway from this series with the Cubs?
I came into it saying, okay, this is going to be a big reality check. And it was. You weren't going to win 3 against this team. This Cubs team, that is. This Cubs team has been very good all around. And honestly, as much as I crap on the broadcast all the time, the Cubs are probably I think the best word to say is best complete team. They're the best all-around team that they've played all year. Sure, you mentioned the Brewers. Their offense doesn't really stand out. But yeah, especially Game 3 was that was a game they needed. They needed Crochet to go the distance, or not at least 6 innings, which he did. The Horton dude for Chicago, solid outing, but at the same time, you needed to take advantage of that. They didn't until Presley. Did they demote Presley from the closing role? Because he went in the 7th inning, on 2 nights.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
that he had a rough start to the year and was dealing with a knee injury, so they demoted him from the closer spot, and he's been kind of working his way back into higher leverage. This was definitely a setback for him in that quest. But
right,
yeah.
Still a 3.6 ERA. It's still pretty. It's still good. It's not terrible, not great, but at the same time, they still have a lot of good relievers. Point being, I think one of my main takeaways is I'm looking at this Chicago depth chart of relievers: Brad Keller, Ryan Presley, Ryan Brazier, Drew Pomeranz, Brooks Kriske, Chris Flexen is on that team. How is his bullpen like this good? And then they got other Red Sox legends like Justin Turner and Reese McGuire. So it was a reunion all around, but I'm just like, come on. Like, you couldn't, in the games 1 and 2, I'm like, you couldn't get a hit off of Drew Pomeranz, who, don't get me wrong, has had an incredible resurgence from the depths of hell. I don't know where the hell he's been. I know he had Tommy John and then another surgery in 22 to clean up the Tommy John, throwing here, throwing it there, whatever. But I think my main takeaway is you won the third game. You didn't get swept. Some good timely hitting from this team, which is like finally, and off a solid pitcher too. Off a Bregman homer off of Pomeranz, who had given up like 2 earned runs all year or some wacky shit like that. So overall, I'm happy. Would have liked to see 2 out of 3, but you can't win them all. Now we're on to Philly. Go steal 2 of those games.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about this gauntlet right after the All-Star break for a bit, because, I mean, as good as they had played leading up into the All-Star break, you know, the Reds are fine. They're like a good team. They're not anything special. And then you've got the Rockies and the Nats, who suck. Like, no mincing words there. They're bad baseball teams. And yeah, you swept the Rays, which was a big like statement series, sweeping them. I mean, even taking 3 out of 4 was gigantic. Taking all 4 is even bigger. You get into this gauntlet, and I said you have to be within a game of 500, like, over this 9-game stretch. You cannot go any worse than 4-5, and like you put yourself in a very good position to do that. Because I mean, you win the next 2 series, you go 5-4 in this 9-game stretch, so you can feasibly lose one of these series and still be in that 4-5 over the 9-game stretch, because then you get Minnesota at the end of the month and the gauntlet that is the Astros in August, which seems to kill the Red Sox every single season. But I felt like this series, like Red Sox fans' reactions to it in the first couple of days were like, oh my God, we fell for it again. Please sell at the deadline. This team's clearly not good enough. And like, I feel like they were so close to a breakthrough there. The fans that were like saying sell players and whatnot get worse. Like, my response was, yeah, the Red Sox are a worse team than the Chicago Cubs. You know how you become much more like the Chicago Cubs? Make your team better. Like, I thought that the holes in the roster, they get exacerbated when you face a very good team like the Cubs. Like, Carlos Narvaez, as good as he's been this year, not a cleanup hitter. You definitely need another backup catcher, because whether Connor Wong long-term can return to something similar to 2024 version of himself, that's not happening this year. His 2025's fucked. Like, he's screwed. And you could use another starting pitcher. And you learned that in this series, because Giolito, as good as he's been and as fine as he wasn't good enough in game 1. Bello hung in there, got you 6, only 3 earned. Crochet was Crochet. But Carlos Narvaez, until he doubled in the 8th inning of game 3, was like 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, I think, in the series. And then Connor Wong had 2 opportunities in a close game in game 2 with runners in scoring position, and in Connor Wong fashion, popped out. And obviously Abraham Toro sucks. Like, he's not a good baseball player. He's a borderline average bat, horrible defender at first base. You got to upgrade first base. And like, I come out of the series thinking, yep, you cannot put a Band-Aid on those holes. You have to absolutely address those positions at some point. And
yeah, I definitely agree. I think I think I used the phrase like, I'm all set. Thanks, Toro, for your service. I think I'm at that point. Like you said, you have to get some reinforcement at first. None of this revolving door, because everybody in their right mind knew, yeah, Toro and Romy, they're a good platoon now. Are they going to be a good platoon in August, in September? No. Jordan, you even said on a previous show, you're like, you just have to get Romy and Toro platoon to last you to the deadline. Like, those were your exact words. And here we are now, exactly 11 days before the trade deadline. And we're like, okay, we're starting to see the beginning of the end, I think, with this stuff, with this platoon. Is it to say Romy's been bad? No, he's been quietly. He hasn't been that good recently, a little bit. But I think going back to your original conversation about the Red Sox, the vibe of the team, like I think in May I called this stretch of the year the Jaron Duran showcase because I knew he was going to get traded because you're showcasing the Phillies, the Dodgers. The Cubs don't really need him. But anyways, point being, we've come a long way.
Hell, the Twins, if
And-
you want to somehow sneak him into a Joe Ryan deal, which is another, probably not, but
he doesn't really make too much sense, but that's a
No.
whole can of worms that I know you and I don't really want to go into right now. I know you don't survive those, so I'll keep it there. But yeah, I think the one final thought, and then I'll see what Brian has to say, is going into this 10-game win streak, going into the second half or game 100, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. In the back of your mind, you're like, oh, this is the gauntlet. And when they lost, especially after yesterday, you're just like, oh, it's the same bull crap from the last 3 years. Yep. No, I'm out. But you just get flashes like today where it's like, it gives you some hope. I know the Red Sox, this is a feel good 1 out of 3 for whatever reason. I feel so much better. I don't know if it's the Red Sox haven't won a game 3 in the series, a series finale, that is, in a while, but I feel genuinely fine. And I acknowledge the Cubs are a better team than the Cubs are a better team than the Red Sox right now. And you won in really good fashion. You got the clutch hits. Honestly, the mentality should be great win, move on. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and the Rays game just went final. They just lost 5-3 to the Orioles, so the Red Sox now have a little bit more breathing room for that third wild card spot, a game and a half up on Tampa Bay. Yeah, Brian, anything to add on what Jason just said?
No, I think he did a good job summing it up. I mean, it's kind of shitty when you lose 2 games and only win 1, but you feel better because at least we didn't get swept type of thing. But expectations, I think, were a little high. I think, Jordan, would you pick like 2 out of 3, at least you wanted to have, which I think that was reasonable. I think, the game kind of got away. I think, Toro, with his base running blunders and some other stupid shit he was doing.
He's a nightmare.
Yeah. And then just kind of, but even like today, I mean, I'm listening to the broadcast and they had 5 innings in a row where they got their leadoff hitter on. And it was like,
Got walked to lead the inning off.
Yeah. If we lose this fucking game. And it was kind of like, they had the play. I mean, I know he didn't score, but Duran, it wouldn't have been a double play, but then he was safe at third because of obstruction. And I'm like, that could have gone a long way there, but then he doesn't score. There's a lot of other things where like Crow Armstrong, oh wow, he's doing Duran type things. It'd be nice if Duran could do that during this game. And then just Rafael, the best defensive center fielder that we've had in a long time, is, making errors at second base. And it's like, oh, come on. And then Crochet kindly, he didn't have his best stuff today, but he still pitched great. And they're like, you can't have a guy pitch that good and lose this game. So it was kind of like, thank God they won. And then just kind of, with the second home run that was hit, I think the Bregman one I thought was great, coming off the bench. But, when Abreu hits one, he always hits another one. It seems like he's done that 4 times this year. He's got the dad strength. It's just amazing. I mean, he's got 20 home runs and 55 RBIs in 96 games. Yeah, he was the guy we were going to get rid of, right? Like in April. I was like, fuck this guy. Like, he's just
March. People wanted to trade him for Dylan Cease in spring training.
Now, was he one of the guys we got for Christian Vasquez?
Yep.
Awesome trade. And as much as we shit on, like, Jason was talking about all these former pitchers that, now don't pitch for the team, like the Braziers and Pomeranz and all these other guys. Then there's deals like that. And I'm like, all right, you can't win them all, but like, that was awesome. I mean, just some of the moves they've made like that in the past are just like, holy shit. I mean, we talked about where would they be without, Chapman? Where would they be without Crochet? Where would they be without Abreu right now? 20 home runs and 55 RBIs. When we traded Devers, we're like, oh, that's a big hole. Well, add Abreu to that. And he was like, not a throw-in, but it was like because the Astros needed a catcher, maybe. And I think he hardly even played once he was on the fucking team. It was crazy deal.
Yeah, they traded Willie Abreu for a backup catcher. Like, you thought the Red Sox gave up a ton when they got Danny Jansen. Like, Willier is a fringe outfielder or fringe all-star caliber outfielder. If he can even become like somewhat average against lefties, like that dude's got all-star written all over him. And obviously is a Gold Glover, has a rocket for an arm, and one of the most underrated. Like he's not like you said, Brian. He's not a bat flipper, but his swing, like when he gets one, and it just the follow through goes right into the lean back just perfectly. He's just got such a beautiful swing. And
Jordan, some for him, I want to give him a lot of credit for. English obviously is not his first language, but when he does post game interviews, he does the best he can. I totally would not shit on him at all for me like, hey, I'm using the translator, like, or I'm not doing interviews at all. And he totally they're always like, hey, do you want to talk? He's like, yeah, sure. And he's looking for the right words and he's doing the best he can. And the guys interviewing him know that. And I give him a ton of credit because that's really, really intimidating for some of these guys who, conversationally, they're talking to their buddies in the dugout, but they're not broadcasters,
Yeah.
and, you just hit a home run, you get the adrenaline flowing. I totally understand how that can be really uncomfortable with some of these guys. And he does a fantastic job.
Yeah. And especially in recent years too, like we've seen time and time again, like misinterpreted words. Like I think Jorge Lopez last year said something to the effect, like when he was with the Mets, about this being like the worst team in baseball, but I think he said something to like the effect of we're playing like the worst team in baseball, and everyone was reaming him for being like, you're calling the team you play for the worst team in baseball. And it's like, no, that's not what he said. He was saying that basically they'd been playing poorly, and everyone was kind of jumping down his throat for that. And then he got DFA'd, which was pretty funny, but that's beside the point. Yeah, no, where would they be had the Red Sox been manned by a Red Sox Twitter user in March and traded him for Dylan Cease?
Right?
Would Devers still be here?
I don't know, but
Probably
it's
not.
amazing the deals they don't make. It's like, okay, well, if they really want to Crochet a year early, do they trade Anthony? And it's like what, like sometimes the deals you don't make are the best deals you ever make. Which is, it sounds dumb, but kind of like how I think everybody wants Joe Ryan right now, but I think anybody with common sense knows that it's a lot cheaper in the offseason to get Joe Ryan than it will be now. And why give away all this extra stuff if you can save 20% on that deal?
Because you want to win now. That's the
yeah.
argument.
I mean, but I remember, Jason, I can talk about 20 years of sports that hadn't happened before you were alive of dumb fucking Red Sox trades. Whether it's Larry Anderson for Jeff Bagwell, or I mean, it never ends. Like it's sexy at the time, but you're always overpaying. It's like kind of like you're signing a 30-year-old pitcher to a 12-year deal. It's like, oh, this is gonna work. Oh yeah, I mean, you get 2 or 3 sexy years, then their arm hurts them for about a year and a half, and then they finally have Tommy John surgery, and then they come back, and then it's just like, I hate banging my head against the wall, and I love Joe Ryan. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to give away a bunch of guys, but I look at Hunter Knowles, Twitter like it's baseball porn of all these like prospects we're gonna get, and he's got that interview coming up with Peyton Tolley. Did you see that, Jordan? That's awesome.
Yeah, he sent me the audio. I don't know if it's coming out tonight, so last night if you're listening to it, or tomorrow, depends on when everything gets squared away.
That guy is a fucking beast. I'm like, I can't wait for that guy to get to the majors tomorrow. You watch him pitch, it's so fucking sexy.
He is an animal, and he's a specimen of an individual. How tall is he? Like 6'7", and he's
that.
Built.
Who's the yoked individual they just drafted there? Was it who's the guy that the second pick they had? Was it Phillips?
Oh, Marcus Phillips.
Holy shit! I saw him.
Yeah,
he is a load. He is a load, man. Like he is definitely not going to wear down during the season. He's not going to be one of these guys where it's he's going to bulk up a little bit. Like that's not a problem at all.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him filling out as he matures.
The Sox broadcast is like still has room to grow. Like, no, backspace.
Yeah, no, if he gets any bigger, he'll become a center fielder. That's kind of where we're at. And yeah, for Peyton Tolley, he gets any bigger, he's playing first base. That dude's built. And yeah, he's ascending quickly. He finally got into the pipeline top 100, but they don't update their top prospects as often as Sox prospects does, because if they did, I wonder where Tolley would actually kind of round into.
Higher,
probably. I mean, he'd be the top prospect in the org once Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer graduate in 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
So it'll be Be interesting to see. I do wonder what the Joe Ryan trade package, should he get dealt at the deadline, actually looks like. I still don't see why the Twins would trade him. You know? Like I get okay, so I get why they would. Obviously, you get all the minor league prospects back, but they play in such a shit division. And I know the Tigers are having like a year of, like a destiny year. But I feel like with the AL Central, you have one good offseason. I mean, like the Royals last year, they signed Hunter Renfroe and Adam Frazier and Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha. Like that was their offseason last year. They won like 93 games. That is the AL Central for you. Like the Twins have a good offseason. Not even necessarily a good one, but just like a savvy one. They make like a couple interesting additions. Well, they win 88 games probably next year with Joe Ryan in that rotation. I don't know. I just think they'd be kind of foolish to trade him. They should be looking to extend him. And now obviously it takes two to tango. And if he's not going to sign the extension, then get him out of there while you can get as much for him as possible. But if they do trade him, I do wonder what that trade package is going to look like.
I don't think they extend him just because they've been on record saying we're losing money with the stuff that's going on. So aren't they in the middle of trying to sell the team too?
Yeah. I think there's something going on there. That's why he keeps coming up, I think, because it's a money thing.
Right. And it's like whenever you look, and I am interested too, Jordan, to see like what's the framework, because the rumors, the Red Sox have the framework done with this deal. Oh, they're another team who's involved too. Like, I don't know. Like, where I mean, Duran doesn't really seem to fit in right now, but maybe later. I just don't see it. That I think you need a third team. I mean, I've been on record saying I think you need, if in order to get Ryan and you're trading Duran, you need a third team that just nuffs up. I'll say it right now. I hate these people who put out trade proposals. I'm not going after any like the who says no people from play testing. Like I know half of it's rage bait, but at the same time, like the stupid trades you see on Twitter where people who are like actually serious. I'm like, you don't know what the front offices want. You don't know what names are being floated out. One front office is gonna say Pantoli sucks, and another would say he's the best pitcher in the minor league system. Yeah. You'll get people like that. I mean, other than the Red Sox, because the Red Sox are the Red Sox. They value prospects higher than any other team would. But point being, you don't know what's going on. So what I like to do is like, all right, what names should they float? And what names should they keep? And it's a whole game. I don't know where y'all stand on that, but that's where I stand.
Yeah, there's only a few players probably in the entire organization that are untouchable. And when I say a few, I'm not talking like Crochet and Bregman. Those are givens. Like obviously you're not trading either of them, but like as far as young players go, like Sadon's played himself out of consideration for being traded. Like that glove in center field, the fact he's pulling the ball in the air. I know he had kind of a weird series where he extended his hitting streak 2 games, but nothing he hit really was hit with any authority. Roman's obviously untouchable. I would put Meyer in that conversation as well. Peyton Toley's in that conversation as well as untouchable. Other than that, like Christian Campbell, I wouldn't trade unless you're getting like a serious like 1-for-1 swap for like a really good player. And it would have to be a 1-for-1 swap. Like even Campbell plus, I'm probably out on that. But like
that's contract too. That's also big. The extension too. And I think that
the precedent sense. The precedent sets to also trade somebody that you extended. Like you want to extend Roman Anthony, you probably shouldn't trade Christian Campbell half a year after signing that extension. But other than those, like that small handful, I wouldn't trade Willier, but I'd get it if they had to. Like I've still been like kind of banging on the door of like if it's a haul, that's the only way I'm trading Duran or Willier Abreu. Other than that, make it work and then figure it out in the offseason. Because like, I don't know, all the reports coming out about how trading somebody like Duran would like ruin the clubhouse has me a little scared. But like, I'm not in that clubhouse, so I get to treat players like robots, obviously within reason. So like for me, it's still like Jaron's still probably the most enticing trade chip, maybe even on the market, period. Like as far as you're trading a guy you're getting back, Jarren Duran's probably the cream of the crop because he can play Major League Baseball. That's the one unknown with every prospect. You have no idea if they can play at the major league level. So, but
I also think it's gonna be another underwhelming trade deadline. No offense, because I know y'all are doing something for it, but at the same time, it's like another year, another seller's market because of the expanded playoffs. Like strictly because of that. So many more bubble teams are a thing now. You think the Red Sox would have been buyers last year if there were expanded playoffs? Probably not. Because it took them, they were 50-40, and they still barely bought. So
yeah, their buying at the deadline was pretty weird.
Yeah, and what's not to say that they get some similar caliber. I don't think they're gonna go. What does my gut say about the whole Joe Ryan thing? My gut wants it, but my gut just says no. Like, I don't think it happens. I think they just do the same thing that they did last year. Get a few rentals, maybe a depth piece here and there. I know they cleared a lot of AAA depth last year with the Zephyr and Nico Cavadas and Matthew Lugo. A lot of Lugos in the Red Sox org that they traded away.
Yeah.
But point being, I think you see, because they're running into a similar situation this year too, where they have a lot of guys who are Rule 5 eligible that they need to decide to protect or not, especially with the guys who are right now, like they have the password, they have Perales. Both of them are taking up spots who are not going to be in the league this year. Next year is a different story, but in the offseason, it's going to raise a lot of questions. And I think it's going to come down to what they do at the deadline too. There are a couple of pieces that I'm willing to move on from, but if they move on from screw you, Derek. If they move on from Alan Castro, then that's probably why. Because it's a borderline protection. He's Rule 5 eligible again. If they're moving him for a solid relief pitcher, I'll be like, okay, I see the vision here. It's kind of the same as last year. That's where I kind of stand, but it could change.
And they also have a million pitchers in Double-A, like that need innings. Like David Sandlin's been piggybacking in Double-A for a while because they have so many arms down there, which means they have to clear out some space. On top of that, Justin Slayton and Liam Hendricks are both taking up 60-day IL spots. Both of them are playing catch. I think Hendricks is out to 120 feet, so I don't think he's that far away from maybe going on a rehab assignment. Tanner Houck's season's probably in the tubes. He's probably going to go on the 60-day soon. I don't think he's been placed on there yet. But you've got to clear space for those guys to come back, which then also creates some issues. Like they're going to be active. They have to be. They have no choice but to be. And I think Yastinson Garcia is probably the guy that is, as far as like prospect standing in the organization, he's probably the top guy that gets moved as far as prospects go. Now, Duran would be the highest ranking player moved if they were to trade him. But as far as prospects, I think Garcia is probably in there. Connolly Early probably also somebody that might get traded. And Alan Castro as well. Sorry, Derek.
I'm not.
You're not.
I think another name too to watch, Blaze Jordan.
Yeah.
He's kind of blocked too.
He's in that Nick York kind of tier from last year where York played so well that they traded him as opposed to like Blaze Jordan's got no pathway.
I mean, but Jordan didn't have Blaze Jordan didn't have like a bad, like he wasn't like York bad at the same time. He just spent a million years in Double-A. Like he spent like mid 2023 to early this past season in Double-A, and he's raking right now, and he's Rule 5 eligible again. So you're gonna have to protect him. There are already a few guys that, like, I think a Mikey Romero's Rule 5 eligible, Sandlin, and then like there are other guys too that you have to protect. So it's interesting. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Sandlin is going to be, if I had to guess, he's either traded or they put him on the 40-man because he is gone in Rule 5. Like, there's no way that another shitty team doesn't take him. He is way too talented to be stuck not on a 40-man and in the Red Sox organization in 2026.
I'm pretty sure your Donnie Monegro is too. I know we got Tommy John, but Didn't the Blue Jays poach Angel Bastardo?
Yeah. And then obviously the Phillies did it with Noah Song, which, I mean, he's 100 years old.
They're gonna do it again. They're gonna do it again.
They might.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any untouchables, Brian? As far like outside of the Crochets and Bregmans and Roman Anthony's of the world?
If they take Noah Song again, I'm going postal like twice. Like fucking guy, you know. It was like, you know, and then Sandlin, he's great. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that just kind of, you know, I don't know. You're right. I mean, it's nice to have these guys, these depth pieces, but when they're blocked, it's like you might as well just trade them and get something for them. But, you know, I think there's a couple of guys that are just too good for the minors, but there's just nowhere to put them, you know, and that's kind of like a weird spot to be. And you don't want to be that team that lets the guy go and they turn into Garrett Whitlock or, you know what I mean? So you're like, well, all right. But no, I think you guys did a pretty good job of covering the who's who there. I mean, Blaze Jordan's been a stud since, you know, he was like 15, you know, as far as with the home run derby and all that stuff. But, you know, they show highlights like, oh, he had another RBI today, he had another home run today, but I just don't see anywhere for him on this team at all. And it's too bad because he seems like a nice guy. You know, he's got a great story and everything, but I just don't think it's just not going to work at the major league level. You know, I think he's going to be one of those quadruple A Bobby Dahlback players with like a ton of raw power. But like, you know, how's that going to work at the major league level? You know, I mean, maybe I hope I'm wrong. You know, I want to be wrong. I want him to go on fire this month, and then they call him up and they have him play DH for the Red Sox and we win the World Series. But realistically,
yeah, it says a lot too that they are still running out Abraham Toro every single day, with Toro like 2 for his last 27 or something ridiculous. He's been really bad for a bit, making mistakes on the base pass, making mistakes in the field. And Blaze Jordan, I know he's not on the 40 man, but like I've been dogging Abraham Toro. DFA him, you could give that spot to Blaze Jordan. In the same breath, Vaughn Grissom's been killing the ball in AAA too, and he's not getting an opportunity. So those guys like kind of on the periphery of the 40 man that like I think they're kind of hiding from the big leagues to try and get some team to bite. And maybe Vaughn Grissom's one of those guys, and Alan Castro not getting promoted to AAA and is another one of those guys potentially that could be on the move that they're just kind of hiding down in AA. I don't know. I mean, it'll be an interesting deadline. Like like I said, they're going to be busy. It's just a matter of how busy, like how impactful are the additions that they're making. Like people keep bringing up Joe Ryan. Obviously that's the guy that everyone wants. That's the guy that's like probably the sexiest name out there, but similar to Garrett Crochet last deadline. I think it's gonna be all bark, no bite on that market, and we'll see in the offseason if he's moved. I don't see it happening at the deadline. I really don't.
It's gonna be Seth Lugo.
If it's Seth Lugo, I'll be pretty upset. I will be honest with you.
I thought Andrew Heaney. I'll one up you there, Brian.
Me and Seth Lugo have history though, so
yeah.
It could be Lugo. But who was the guy? Was it last week they were talking about? It was like, please God, no. There was some pitcher they were talking about adding to the Red Sox. And I'm like, really, that guy?
Oh, Charlie Morton.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Come on, really? Like, no, don't do that to yourself. Just no.
I will say he's been really good the last.
Well, a lot of those guys have been really good. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know.
No, but like he's actually like I did this not because I'm trying to cope with the reality of potentially trading for him, but like the last 6 weeks, he's actually been better than Joe Ryan. I'm not bullshitting. I do not want him. Do not misconstrue that, Craig Breslow, if you are listening. Do not misconstrue that as please trade for Charlie Morton. Just something I noticed. Please don't trade for Charlie Morton. I'll be very upset.
Was he the guy that was he
no,
the guy that
if that's your only move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan, was he the guy that was on the Red Sox and then wasn't?
Oh. No, I think you're thinking of Colin McHugh.
Oh, who was the guy that was on the COVID Red Sox but never played? And he's like, I'm glad I left.
Yeah, Colin McHugh.
Is that him? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then he went to the Rays and had like a 1.5 ERA.
Yeah. So Charlie Morton is not as big a douchebag as I thought he was. Okay. All right. Different guys.
No.
Okay.
I totally forgot they signed Colin McHugh. Oh my God.
I was so thrilled too. I loved Colin McHugh. And then he was like, yeah, no, fuck the Red Sox.
Yeah. He was like a notorious shit talker. Like and it was like, good luck. Like, just get off my team.
Yeah. Like
I remember him making a video when COVID hit. being like, "What's up, Red Sox Nation? We're gonna be okay," and then I never saw him again. I didn't really pay attention.
That was.
I'm not even opening that can of worms.
You don't miss Jonathan Lucroy in his one defensive inning for the Red Sox in 2020? Andrew Triggs, anybody? Nobody. Where were you when Kyle Hart struck out Bryce Harper? How's he even doing in San Diego? I'm actually curious. Let's see. I know his ERA was over 6 last time I checked. That was a while ago, though. It's 5.83, so it is on the way down. There's that. So, hey, good for Kyle Hart. It is a big step in the right direction from the 15.5 it was in 2020. Anyway.
Didn't he say there's no way it would be that bad again? I mean,
What?
he's not wrong. Like his ERA.
I mean, yeah, he was pitching with like a parasite, I think he said. He was like literally dying every single time.
That's Parasite from Japan.
Yeah, he was like literally dying on the mound every time he went out there. But he still struck out Bryce Harper, so he gave us that little trivia question, that little trivia answer in 2020. So
he's only pitched 11 games this year. Huh. 7 games rather.
Yeah, 11 in AAA. His ERA in AAA is 4.8. So he's 32 years old. That'll be the guy that Craig Breslow trades for. He's like, yo, y'all want a reunion?
Yeah, you miss him? No, they'll trade for him like as we're recording, and they'll be like, see, guys, he struck out Bryce Harper. See? Let's get through the Philly series.
Bryce or freaking Craig Breslow's got shooters in our walls at Pesky Report. He's just waiting for us to mention a name of some like rando. He's like, that's the guy. Like, I don't know, maybe somebody accidentally mentioned James Paxton last year, and that's why they traded for him. I really hope they get more impactful than that this year. I mean, Breslow's been talking a big game about acquiring like meaningful players. If he goes out there and has like a repeat of 2024, like he might get fired.
The Braves lost. The Braves lost again. You know, they could be sellers.
May as well. They have nobody. They have no shot at making the playoffs this year. They're like 15 out of the division race.
Yeah, they got a guy, Jordan. They got a guy.
Are you talking about Acuna?
No, not that guy.
Chris Sale?
You got a guy. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
I'm just naming. I still can't believe Chris Sale, the day after the rumors surfaced about a potential reunion, freaking broke his ribs.
Yeah, but might come back in August. Might come back
in August.
That'd be such a Red Sox move because the narrative would be, "Oh, Sale's coming back, baby. Sale's coming back.
Welcome back to 2023. Chris Sale's our deadline acquisition.
Sale day. Sale day.
Oh my God, but then he would actually be our deadline acquisition. That would actually be pretty funny. I'm kind of like, if they trade for somebody else too, I'm like kind of rooting for it. That'd be pretty funny. It's like, oh, Chris Sale is like a deadline acquisition. We get him back August 25th. Get him for the stretch run.
Sure, why not?
I still wish that he got a chance to work with Andrew Bailey, but that's beside the point. It is what it is.
I mean,
Red Sox lose game 1-4-1. Yeah.
I was saying we have the piece to trade for Sale. I mean,
yeah.
Vaughn Grissom's hitting really well.
Do we think the Braves would do that? Could you imagine how fucking funny that would be? Like, Grissom still got 4 years of team control. Like, they have Nacho Alvarez playing shortstop. Ozzy Albies a free agent after the year.
Yep.
They got a hole up the middle, too, potentially. And Sale's a free agent too.
That's never happened though, right? Ever?
Vaughn Grissom for Chris Hill? Or
no,
a trade
has anybody ever been traded back for somebody?
I think I'm like almost positive Nolan Jones has been traded for Tyler Freeman twice. Because I remember
teams?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like 99% sure that Nolan Jones was traded for Tyler Freeman.
That would be awesome.
Oh no, Tyler Freeman was a Cleveland Guardian though.
Okay.
Nolan Jones was traded for Juan Brito in 2022 and then traded for Tyler Freeman. Tyler Freeman, where was he? How did he get to Colorado? Or how did he get to Cleveland the first time? I could have sworn it was for... Oh, no, he was also a Cleveland Guardians draft pick and then just traded for Nolan Jones. Okay, never mind. So, yeah, I don't know. Back to probably not ever happened.
That would be hilarious, though.
That would be funny.
There's still time.
And the Braves win that trade again when Grissom's an all-star in 2026.
Well, that would be the flip side of it. Watch, then he would be.
He does have one option left, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is his last option here. So
Well,
something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Well, to kind of put a bow on deadline talk before we actually get back into talking about the games that happened over the weekend, is there any outside the box guys that you guys like have in your brain that you're like, I would really like the Red Sox to go get? Like I have been riding the Taj Bradley bandwagon for ever since his name got floated in trade rumors. I want him bad. That's my guy. Taj Bradley's mine.
Staying on the same team. I've always been a Yandy Diaz fan.
Yandy.
Now you have the first base open. That's the guy you can stick at first. Is he gonna suck speed wise? Yeah, but whatever. He's the guy you can put in the middle of the order. And he rakes at Fenway.
Yeah, we get to hear Dave O'Brien talk about how he didn't miss his arm day like he does every time the Sox play Tampa Bay.
Did you guys know South Fralick went to BC?
Did you know Danny Jansen's the only guy to play for both teams in the same game? Wait, I'll do you one better. Did you know that Ben Rice is from Massachusetts but grew up a Yankees fan and his family is Red Sox fans? What a prick. Like, seriously. Like, that pisses me off still. Bro was just trying to be quirky. Brian, you got any outside the box
sign seating?
Yeah.
I don't want to trade Abreu back to the Astros, but I love to have Vasquez back just so we don't have to deal with Connor Wong ever again.
Oh yeah, get him back from
Twins.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Trade. I thought that would be kind of fun, a fun little reunion to kind of bake into the Joe Ryan trade. Like if you're gonna trade for Joe Ryan, you may as well also bring back Vasquez, right?
Sure,
like,
well, yeah.
And eat his contract. So it's basically like making two trades in one. That'd be fun.
I'm done with Connor Wong. Like, I'm sure maybe, he's a nice person and all that, but I just don't want to see him ever up in any clutch situations or with runners in scoring position ever again. I think that we'll all feel a lot better about ourselves. And just there's no, you give the guy half a season. I think that's enough time to realize that it's just not going to work anymore. And I know people want to hold on for that Mookie Betts trade, but
the Phillies just signed David Robertson.
Oh wow. He topped at 91 in his showcase yesterday.
$16 million. What?
It's probably prorated if I had to guess.
It's definitely prorated, yeah.
Huh.
David Robertson's like, I'll sign that before you realize how many zeros you put in that message. But yeah, to your point about Connor Wong, Brian, Wong is now one of 3 players since 2002 to have at least 30 plate appearances with runners in scoring position and no hits. Greg Norton in 2004 for the Tigers and Coy Hill for the Cubs in 2011.
Okay.
Norton was 0 for 22, Hill 0 for 34, Connor Wong 0 for 30.
Yeah, no good. I think we get rid of him, and I know they have so much depth in the minors though that we don't need to make that trade. But
yeah, it is prorated 16 mil, so he'll get about a little bit more than 5 mil this year. So they must have heard back from Craig that Chapman's not getting traded, so they're like, we'll sign 90-year-old David Robertson off the street. Hey. Yeah. Red Sox lose game 1 4-1. The only really it was nice to see the starters after getting blitzed in the first inning kind of settle in after that. Like Bello and Giolito each gave up multiple runs in the first inning. They each gave up home runs in the first inning. They combined to give up 7 earned across 11 and a third, but 5 of them came in their respective first innings. Actually, all 5 came before getting an out. So nice to see them bounce back. It was kind of weird seeing people kind of shit on both of them and be like, this is proof the Sox need a number 2 starter, as if they would have changed their mind had both of them pitched well. and then also as if the offense put up much of a fight in these games anyway. Like he scored 1 run in the first 2 games. So yeah. And they lose game 2 6-0. That showed
That
Imanaga
was
guy's good.
insane.
Yeah. He's the guy. I can't believe they didn't sign that guy. He was the guy. I know it was like, oh, Japanese pitcher, not going to translate. He's older, blah blah blah. It was like, remember when we were all smoking crack and we're all like, we're gonna get Yamamoto, and I mean, not like, oh yeah, like this is gonna happen. Like no, but like he was the guy. He would have made things so much easier. He strikes a ton of guys out, and like I'm watching that game yesterday. He's a pitcher. Like he's trying to attack guys' weaknesses. He's throwing 91, 92 mile an hour fastballs, and they're not even touching him. It's crazy.
Yeah, Craig Counsell said that he is very good at just getting guys out. Like he's not great at getting guys out in like any one capacity. Like he's not a ground ball guy. He doesn't get a ton of strikeouts, but he's really good at getting guys out. And that's a novel concept when you're a pitcher at the major league level. I really wish the Sox signed him.
He has a weird contract too. It's so weird. Let's see. After the 2025 season, the team can exercise a 2028 club option. 3 years, $57 million, bringing the total value to 5 years, $80 million. If that club option is declined, which I don't think there is any reason that it should be, it's a $15 million player option.
And if it's a player option, I would have to imagine he's not going to exercise that because he'll make way more. Even with the Cubs, like he will surely opt out, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, but they'll definitely exercise that 2028 club option. He'll only be 34 years old, and he'll only be making 13.2 against the tax. About as risk-free as it gets. That's cheap. It's cheap relative to the kind of contract they're going to have to give out to keep Kyle Tucker in Chicago, and when they inevitably extend Pete Crow Armstrong. So they got to find ways to navigate that as best as humanly possible. But yeah, it was frustrating to listen to. But I mean, Connor Wong was in that lineup, so they had chances to score, but it felt like Connor Wong was always the guy up in those spots. I think we need to stop with this is when Connor Wong is going to get that extra base hit or a home run, or he's going to get a hit with runners in scoring position, because it's just clearly not going to happen.
Damn prop bets. The odds just keep going higher and higher and higher every time he gets up.
I wonder if you, like on opening day, I know that obviously he has an RBI this year, but if on opening day you just kept betting the under on his RBI total and then rolling over your winnings every single game that he's played this year, like where would your winnings, where would you have been when he drove in that RBI? Like how much money would you, like, let's say the first bet was $10. Like where would you be? Would you be able to buy a house?
Probably more than if you just bet the money line on Oklahoma City all year and let the money ride.
Yeah.
Which I know some people did.
Yeah, next time Kev does one of his minus 500 bets.
Next time Kev wants to place a bet, we just need to take his money and get the mouse away from him. I mean, like if you want to win money, do the opposite of Kev.
Well, no, because didn't Kev have like that one?
No, he had that one, yeah,
where he was just betting minus 500 bets and rolling his winnings over. And I think at one point he had like $350.
Okay,
and I'm
all
like,
right. So at least But sometimes some of the bets are crazy. It's like we got to save Kev from Kev.
Save Kev. Yeah, if he ever bets the over on Connor Wong's RBI line, that's when it's time to call the hotline for Kev.
If you know someone or have a problem with.
I did once bet, I think, Connor Wong to homer because it just felt like it would have been hilarious because it was his first game after meeting the president. And the Red Sox were killing teams right after that. So I'm like, it's got to happen, right? Nope. He did get a hit though in that game. So
okay.
What will happen first? Connor Wong has a multi-hit game, or Connor Wong gets an extra base hit in general? Or second RBI.
None of the above.
I do wonder how they like. I know they signed Ronaldo Hernandez, which I know the minor league guys are going to have a fun time probably talking about that tomorrow. But that catching depth is so bad that I don't even
And they
is
didn't take a
help
catcher
on
in
the
the
way.
draft either. So like,
Nope.
I guess they're just going to address this in the offseason.
Yeah, it certainly appears that way. I mean, there's some decent vets out there. Like I think JT Realmuto is a free agent in the offseason.
Ooh. I don't think they sign. I don't think that it's a guy they should sign. No.
No, but that's just
still
a
to your
marquee
point.
name out there. I think he's kind of washed. Like nobody even talks about him anymore because that's probably exactly why. But
Yeah.
as far as catchers go, like I know Vasquez is out there, so you could always bring him back in the offseason.
Uh-huh.
Got James McCann.
Minor league deal candidate.
Danny Jansen is a mutual option for 12 mil, so he'll probably be a free agent.
Nope.
Bring back Dan Jan.
Kelsey Jansen's brother.
Yeah, very much.
They're both catchers.
Then,
They're like the Molinas.
then William Contreras with his club option for 12 mil next year. That's fucking gross. How did the Brewers get away with that? Or was it the Braves that extended him at the time? Poor Connor.
All I know is the Sean Murphy trade, the Brewers somehow got the better end of that.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not because Sean Murphy's been bad.
Just William Contreras was like,
yeah.
He was a top 3 catcher entering this year, arguably the best entering the year.
Yeah, he's not having a great year, but I think he had some injuries early. So, but yeah, I mean, catching help, I guess, could be solved for the offseason, but we shall see. Y'all fired up with OB lately? I feel like OB's been kind of on a heater. His calls lately.
You had a really good Bregman one today. That was amazing.
Yeah, even his Willier one, the first one was pretty good. OB's feeling it again, which usually means the Red Sox are good. So, as much as we give OB shit, his emotion seems to follow with the Red Sox being an actual good baseball team.
He can't be as good as Tampa Bay walk off. That's the best call of the year. I love that.
Oh, wow. Easy. Wow. Red Sox win 5-4.
Yeah, that's what Jordan does. We'll be talking for 10 minutes. Well, Red Sox lost 4-1. All right.
Yeah, we don't even talk about the games. Like, yeah, Red Sox lost this one, by the way.
Yeah, that's the inspiration right there.
Yeah. I was pretty ready to study Alex Cora's brain though, because like something about the second half and like his managing completely changes. Caleb Thielbar comes in to face Masataka Yoshida with a tying run at third and 2 outs in the 6th. I think it was the 6th inning. It was when Cade Horton came out. And I'm like, oh, this is like the most obvious situation to use Rob Refsnyder in. Well, no. Instead Yoshida stays in against a guy who lefties were hitting 107 against.
Right.
And Masa strikes out on 3 pitches. And yeah, I mean, I guess he was playing 8D chess because then he pinch hit Bregman for him against Drew Pomeranz, and Bregman hit a 3-run shot. So
yeah,
fairs, I guess.
Yep. You're like, why is Refsnyder on the bench then? Like, that's why he's on the team. You're going to put him in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess not. But hey.
Exactly.
Well, I guess Masa did have 2 hits against Imanaga yesterday, but come on.
Still.
Yeah.
We're not even going to talk about how Duran almost killed Yoshida in the field.
Yeah, that was fun. Masa getting his first action in left field, like first actual action in left field since October of 23. I saw some weird discourse about it. Like people were blaming Yoshida for that. Motherfucker was camped under a fly ball. How is it his fault that Duran ran into him?
I don't know how much of it. I got to rewatch it. I don't know how much of it was the camera work behind that. Because the camera could have very well been just following Yoshida, and then Duran just comes out of nowhere. But I wonder what if if it was actually under the ball, which is obviously what you're kind of trying to do. And it's tough. Then yeah, I see. What the heck, Duran? Like, I know you're a center fielder, but it seemed like Yoshida had eyes on it for a long time. So.
Yeah, I think Lou even said that Duran looked like he didn't see it off the bat, and then at the end, he started sprinting because he picked it up, and maybe they had a pregame conversation. Jaron's like, anything more towards center field, I'll just take it. But like Yoshida, you can see in the replays, like clearly screaming that he's got the ball, and Duran decides he wanted to lower the shoulder into his rib cage, and maybe he got a phone call from Craig before the game to injure Yoshida again. You're muted, Brian.
No.
You're muted.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm watching it right now, and it's like it's Durant. He's right under it, and then all of a sudden he runs right into him. Yeah, you're right. It's almost like he just didn't hear him, or it was like if anything's close to him, get it.
Yeah. Lou said something. Lou actually made a Bad News Bears reference talking about Kelly Leak. It's like, yeah, his first time out there in almost 2 years. Like anything close, anything you can get, go get. But I mean, dude was camped, and like Massa, as bad as his range and his arm is, like he can catch a pop fly.
He's got perfect form when he runs the bases. He's got perfect form when he's catching fly balls.
Yeah, he's a professional athlete. You can give him a little bit of credit. Like, thankfully, he held on to the ball. I mean, if you didn't believe that Masa Yoshida is built like a brick shithouse, even though he's 5'3", like Duran is built like a linebacker and slammed into him, and he's just like, all right, you wouldn't even been down by contact if this were an NFL game. That's how built Yoshida is. But yeah, I thought that was gone off the bat. Like Ian Happ dropped the bat, and I'm like, fuck, it's 3-0. And Moss is just like, oh yeah, nope, barely on the warning track. So get your bicep curls in there, Ian Happ. And
PCA bitching to the umpire about the obstruction or interference at third base with Crochet.
Yeah, he was out by like 1,000,000 feet. I love PCA. Like, he's a very exciting player. But he wanted to get thrown out of this game so badly. I felt like he was always like yelling at somebody, especially an umpire.
Okay, so he's just not a bitch. That's not what it was. It's like, okay, is he always like that, or is it just?
He's a fiery dude. I've never seen him like that. Like, he was pissed. Like, it just seemed like he woke up. Like Kenley Jansen woke up on the wrong side of the bed, his back hurt, and he's like, I'm going to get myself thrown out of this ball game today. Never did, though. I don't know how. I know he got rung up on a check swing, and he like threw his arms up and like dropped an F-bomb as he like spun out of the box. But yeah,
What'd you think of the obstruction there with Duran and all that? Did that go the Red Sox way, or was that?
Oh yeah.
I thought Jaron kind of embellished it, but I think it was the right call. I think he did that so the ump noticed that it happened. Rare high IQ play from Jaron Duran.
Ooh.
I mean, Jaron's a freak athlete. I'd never be one to call him an intelligent baseball player. Not saying he's stupid, but he's not. Like he makes plays with his athleticism, not with his brain capacity.
This was almost like a fun, like for most of the game. It was like 1-0. It was almost like a very eventful 1-0 game. There was like the Red Sox walked the leadoff man like 4 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
There's always traffic and stuff.
Yeah, Sox had runners on in like every inning except for I think the second, I want to say, at some point. And leadoff walk 5 innings in a row. They only scored in the 7th and 8th innings on mammoth home runs. Williard Brady was a fucking god, by the way. I love that dude.
How close was the pickoff, Jordan? Because I was listening to the game on the radio with Crochet, and then when he picked, was it Armstrong off a third base?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He got him in a that was the first thing PCA was bitching about was that because he thought there was obstruction at third, but he was out by like 15 feet. Like right. Like by letter of the rule, like I think the umpire's discretion there is if it's bang bang, then you can argue that the foot being in the way impeded his ability to be safe. Okay. But like if you're out, if he's caught the ball, like if he's blocking the base and you're nowhere near the base, like who really gives a shit? Like he's not
Right.
obstructing your ability to get there.
Because that was reviewable, but the Duran call where the obstruction and they put him at third was not reviewable. That's what they said on the radio.
That's weird. But they
Yeah,
didn't
which I
review
don't
either.
understand. Yeah.
They didn't review either of them, which was
Well, no,
interesting.
but I guess you can't challenge it. Is what I'm saying. They said Council was bullshit because he's like because it was a double play, and then the guy, the infield umpire, was like, "Nope, sorry, he gets to go to third." Because originally it was a double play, and then they put Duran at third base, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was like again, like I think Duran really embellished that to steal the call.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dodgers are might be about to lose again too.
Oh, that'd be awful.
They have the fewest innings pitched this season, like average, like starting pitchers average like not even 5 innings. And they've like considered one of the most deepest pitching staffs or starting pitching depth in the league. Mind-boggling.
Yeah, because I mean their rotation's nasty when healthy, but everybody's hurt except for like Glasnow just came back. Yamamoto's healthy, but like Sasaki's hurt. Snell's on rehab right now. Kershaw's 3,000 years old, probably done after this year. I imagine he just stuck around to get to 3,000 Ks. And now that he's there, he's like without question going to retire. Oop.
What? This is funny. There were 9 teams who scouted David Robertson in Providence on Saturday, including Boston Red Sox chief baseball officer Craig Breslow and assistant Eddie Romero, with Phillies president of baseball ops Dave Dombrowski winning the sweepstakes over his former team. Yes, in 2025, we get a Bob Nightingale referencing to Eddie Romero.
Hell yeah. I'd unplugged my mic. That's what happened to me.
Okay, you self-censored yourself. It's all right.
Yeah, no, I was about to start going on a massive expletive-laden rant for no reason, so I had to stop myself. But yeah, Red Sox win 6-1. They're now back to 7 games over 500 with 3 to play with the Phillies in Philadelphia before Mookie Betts comes back to Fenway Park for the second time as a visitor.
Yeah.
Wonder what kind of reception he'll get this year. I mean, he kind of sucks this year. Yeah?
Sucks in Mookie stand. He's average, I think. He's an average player, but we don't when we think of Mookie Betts, we think of MVP.
Yeah, but I think his OPS is like 600 right now, or 6 something.
Yeah, he sucks.
688.
240, sub 700 OPS.
Yeah, 688 OPS. His WAR is only 1.5. I think that's
in almost
stories.
400 plate appearances too.
Yeah, I still blame the. He does have a hit today, so I'll give him that. So his OPS is actually 688. He is that virus he got in March like killed him.
Oh, the one right before Japan.
Yeah,
he lost like
20 pounds.
Was it in Japan or before he went?
It was right before. Like
so you can't blame the sushi.
Yeah, and he's already 180. Like that's his listed weight, 5'10", 180. So dropping him down to 160 right before the season, like that dude's got.
He probably had sushi at a bowling alley in California, and that's probably what did him in.
Yeah, food poisoning killed him, and then now
avid bowler. There's some risky dietary options when you go to a bowling alley late at night. Maybe get some tacos or some cheesy fries that he shouldn't have had.
Yeah,
maybe maybe the shoes are just. I mean, that's just like toxic waiting to happen. Bowling shoes. That's a racket that you put on other people's shoes that are 30 years old.
Yeah, I don't go bowling enough to run into that problem.
I gotta imagine he has his own whatever.
Yeah, Mookie definitely has his own bowling shoes. That dude is a pro.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, okay, I could see that. Okay. Yep.
But yeah, 688 OPS for Mookie Betts. That's just crazy.
That Savant page is not great.
Yeah, I really do think he's going to dominate next year, though.
Yeah.
He should.
Yeah, normal off season. He'll be fine. We got any last thoughts on the Cubs series before we preview the Phillies series?
No, I think I said all I needed to say.
All right, yeah, we'll get into this Phillies series Monday to Wednesday. Then we're back to our Thursdays off ritual of 2025. I think it's what, like 10 of the last 11 Thursdays off for the Red Sox.
That works.
Yeah, which may be a much needed day off after this series with the pitching matchups that we're gonna get. Game 1, 6:45 p.m. All these games obviously in Philadelphia. Walker Buehler on the mound against Zach Wheeler.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, 4 years ago that would have been a sick matchup. This matchup, instead in 2025, this matchup makes me like physically ill.
Yeah.
Game 2, also 6:45. That's a TBS game. I wonder if we're gonna get Brian Anderson or Don Orsillo in that game. Orsillo would be fun.
Yeah.
Is it not going to be on Nesson?
Nope, TBS game.
Huh.
We got Richard Fitz against Christopher Sanchez. Game 2.
Dirty.
And then game 3, Lucas Giolito against the Jesus Lizard himself, Jesus Luzardo. That's a 7:05 game. And those are the 3 pitching matchups for this upcoming series. Jason, I'll let you lead off here. How do you see this series going for the Sox?
So I think like the last few times I've been on, like my series predictions have been correct. So I hold a lot of weight. So screw it. 2 or 3. You know what they always do? They always find a way to hit a really good pitcher. And that just feels like Wheeler. Go hit against Wheeler. They'll lose the Fitz and Sanchez game versus Sanchez, and then they'll win the Luzardo game. Has Luzardo kind of regressed to the mean? Let's see. Load. Oh, wow. He's in the ERA of 4 now. What happened?
He had a really bad June. I think he had like 4 or 5 starts in a row where he just got absolutely beaten to death.
Yeah, he was in the talk for a Cy Young. Now he's almost 4.30 ERA. So, yeah, I have the Red Sox winning games 1 and game 3. How they're going to win game 1, it could be an ugly slugfest. I think you're looking at that, especially with Walker Buehler. Game 2, Fitz. What?
My God.
I don't like Fitz in that spot. I think Fitz is a good pitcher, but hold on. I had the tab up and I accidentally closed out of it.
Jesus Luzardo in his 2 starts, May 31st and June 5th, gave up combined in 5 2/3 innings, 20 earned runs.
That's gross.
Yeah. He was having a really good year. Then he had back-to-back games where his ERA for the start was over 30.
Holy shit.
Wow. All right. Anyways, so Fitz's last start was against Colorado. He got the win, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. But then before it was his Cincy start on the first. Well, I think that was the rain game.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. And then it was the Angels where
he got hammered.
I think in like the 4th inning, and he could barely get through 4. So,
I was thinking of the Angels game before he got optioned because they rushed his rehab.
Oh yeah. He got hammered. Well, yeah, he did get hammered that game too. So, I think I don't consider that to be an actual start. They should just erase it. But point being, Colorado, Cincinnati, the Angels, not really good teams. Then you go up against Philly, yeah, not a recipe for success. So 2 or 3. That's my prediction.
Brian, what do you think?
I want to be wrong, so I'm going to go they're going to win 1 out of 3, but I think they're going to surprise me in one of these games. But I'm tired. I'm sick of these Walker Buehler quality starts where he gives up 3 runs, and I don't know. I think it's kind of like a bullshit stat, but maybe they hit. I think it was nice today. It's like, oh yeah, we can still hit. But quality pitching, it comes down to the lineup. You can't be having Rafael hitting 3rd. You got to have like a serious lineup out there. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like, but it seems like the pitching is kind of doing their thing, and now we got the guys who aren't the top 3. But they got to score some runs. So, if the game's tied and it gets the 8th inning, we'll see what happens. But I think we're going to be okay. But when I see Schwarber up, I'm like, ugh. I see some of these other guys up, and I'm looking at their lineup right now. They got what, a 55-42 record. Okay, I think they're in a wheelhouse. I think it's another good barometer team. I think if we can take 2 or 3, I think it means a lot. But I have a feeling that one out of these 3 games might be a little more realistic. But I want to be surprised here.
Yeah, I also think 2 out of 3 is gonna be the outcome of the series. I don't think they win game 1. As funny as that would be hilarious. Imagine we get a vintage Walker Buehler outing and he like shoves. He figured something out over the All-Star break and he comes back throwing like 96 and his cutter's nasty and he's great. I mean that'd be fun and maybe he has figured something out. I mean the last 2 times out again, 5 earned over 11 innings is fine. The walks have been largely down. I mean, he gave 2 home runs against the Rays, which is not great. But I mean, the thing for him is he's not getting a lot of strikeouts, but the contact he's giving up hasn't been hard hit, except obviously the home runs, which became a real problem for him after coming off the IL. I don't see him surviving a lineup with Schwarber, Harper. Not happening. Would love to be wrong. Richard Fitz, I actually think pitches pretty well in game 2. Christopher Sanchez, the Red Sox kill lefties. That's kind of been what they've been doing a lot of this season, and that's kind of why I think they'll take 2 or 3 is they get 2 lefty starters. I think they'll beat up on Sanchez, they'll beat up on Luzardo, and Giolito will get back on the horse in game 3. I also have a prediction that I think Yoshida hits his first home run of the season in this series, and I think the Red Sox make a trade before the series is over. It doesn't mean it's going to be huge, but I think they make a trade before the series is over.
First baseman?
I'm thinking more bullpen.
Okay.
That's what my gut's saying.
Welcome back, Brad Keller.
Bring in another Jorge Alcala, who's got like an ERA of like 0.6 since coming to Boston. Or my alcoholics.
Alcoholic.
That's a mouthful.
Wow.
That is a mouthful. But he's been good. Get another Alcala out here. But
how about an Alcala-esque player?
Yeah, there we go. Much better than an alcoholic. Although now I'm starting to get the hang of that word.
Alcoholic.
It'd be pretty cool if they were able to snatch Ryan O'Hearn or Josh Naylor this week, though. That'd be fun. I've done watching Abraham Toro. Yeah, do that. Be proactive. Like I don't want to see them like have to give up more because who gives a shit what other teams have to give up after you've made your trades?
That would be really cool. I don't recall. Brian, you probably can recall because or even Jordan, y'all are older than I am. Recall like a Red Sox.
24.
Jordan just looks old. He's really not that old. The problem is people have known Jordan for a long time, so it's like Blaze Jordan. We think he's like 35, and then
and he's younger than me.
He tells me he's like, I can't rent this car. You got to do it.
Yeah, it's because I'm bald. I think it's because
that could be it too.
I just look older.
Anyways, my point was maybe you guys can remember a time where the Red Sox have made a market setter trade in like 2 weeks before, like kind of like remember when Nelson Cruz was dealt to the Rays for Joe Ryan.
Yeah,
that was a shitty trade, but something like that. Or I'm trying to think of other examples, but I can't remember the lot. Like if the
Rise got traded, last year to San Diego.
That's not really a market setter though. That was in May.
Yeah, good point.
Right, it's same conversation. Like Devers is not a market setter. That's just a fucking guy. Team needs to move on from the star player, and this is the return you get.
Yeah. I don't really know when the Red Sox were that. I mean, like Steve Pearce wasn't a market setter trade. That was a lefty platoon bat or a lefty killer to replace Hanley in June, right? So like that wasn't it. I mean that deadline they didn't make anything super. How early in July did they trade for Drew Pomeranz? That was Anderson Espinoza. I don't know when they traded for Pomeranz though. I think his first start might have actually been on deadline day against San Francisco.
When did they trade for Schwarber?
Schwarber was like within a couple days of the deadline, I think.
That's the
July
biggest
14th.
Yeah, that's the biggest move I remember them making recently. that would like really move the needle. And it was like, all right, I don't give a shit that this guy can't field a ground ball. It's hilarious when he tries to catch a pop up, but he hits fucking bombs. Like I still never got over that 3-0 fastball that he hit for the grand slam. I mean, that was like past 10 years, 20 years.
Not even a strike.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is like it's awesome on TV, it's awesome on YouTube, but if you were there, it was like you still like there was that one, and then it wasn't even a playoff game, but the grand slam that Ramirez hit off of Betances was just like a holy shit, like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. But that Schwarber bomb was just that was next level.
So the trade for Pomeranz on July 14th.
It was like I think it was like the day after the All-Star game, or a couple days after.
Yeah, he made his debut on the 20th against the Giants. And they traded Anderson Espinoza, who's the top pitching prospect in the organization at the time. There's not really like a Pomeranz. I guess like his Joe Ryan this year's Pomeranz. We were trading Peyton Tolley for him. I mean, his first time All-Star, couple years of team control, but like Joe Ryan's way better than Pomeranz. I don't know. That's probably the last time they
trailed the Orioles by 2 games in the AL East at the time.
So, I mean, I guess that would kind of fit where they're at right now. Yeah, like a few games of the division, not necessarily like fighting it, but it'd be nice to kind of like you win a game like this today. If you win, say tomorrow, and you walk into Citizens Bank Park on Tuesday with a shiny new reliever, or hell, you do go out and you get that starter. Like the kind of vibes in the clubhouse now, unless you trade Jarren Duran, they'll probably want Craig Breslow dead. But
yeah, so they think there's going to be a mutiny. So Jordan, he's just off the table now until the offseason, basically.
I wouldn't take him off the table.
Yeah,
but
I mean, let alone all the people that personally met him and after the game. I mean, every home game is like, look who I met. After the Red Sox game, it's like 15 people. Like all he talked to me for 5 minutes. He was super nice. Blah blah blah. I mean, just that's you got that whole big argument too. But they're gonna move him. But I mean, I think like you said, it's pretty much. I think it's a thing now. He's not gonna move until the offseason.
Yeah, that's probably where I sit too. But good luck getting an impact starter if you don't trade Jarren Duran. Like Jose Soriano, that's probably going to cost you Jarren Duran.
Yeah. Yep.
And Duran gave me shit when I met him, but he signed my Giants hat and wrote "Go Sox" on it.
Now,
fair enough.
Real talk, Jordan. Whose arms are bigger now, yours or his?
I'm definitely far away from Jarren Duran.
Okay. Just
on my absolute best day, I'm probably still smaller than Yoshida in terms of arms. Maybe even smaller than Mookie in terms of arms.
Nice.
But yeah, so Jason's got 2 out of 3. I got 2 out of 3. Brian's got 1 out of 3. But like more reversing.
I just kind of look at that. The pitching matchups scare me those first 2 games.
Yeah. But if Walker, I'm prepared to spread lies on the internet if Walker Buehler shoves tomorrow.
Okay.
Real quick, I'm reading this article from when they acquired him. Oh my gosh. The Red Sox hold Pomeranz's contract rights through the 2017 and 2018 seasons. Craig Kimbrell was on the DL due to surgery on his left knee. Junichi Tazawa was on the DL too. Oh my God, these names. Brad
Forgot
Ziegler.
Tazawa was still on the 2016 team.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but Ziegler was nasty in Boston, and that was like the last of his like good pitching. He was a demon in that 2016 on the 2016 team. But
the Red Sox traded for Aaron Hill a few days before.
That was 17, or was that also 16?
16. Aaron Hill was 16.
Aaron Hill was fucking terrible. He was such a bad I was hyped for that trade too. Awful Red Sox. Dave's deadline deals were typically not very good. Like he did not navigate a deadline very well in Boston. I know he got Pierce. That was in June, so I guess it's not really a deadline move. But like Brad Ziegler's the only other good one.
This says Pomeranz gives the rotation support behind David Price, Rick Porcello, and Stephen Wright.
All-star Stephen Wright, though. That's all-star
right.
Stephen Wright.
No pun intended.
God, fucking
hell. As long as it doesn't rain, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't rain, as long as it's not above 85, the humidity is in good check, and yeah, turn into be an asshole and then also terrible at baseball. So John Farrell ruined it by making a pinch run, which I think is fucking hilarious. John fucking Farrell, man. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Brian?
No, I hope that this is just a blip in the radar. I really like that 10-0, win streak. And I think that I listened to the it was the midday show or one of them with was it Doink and Bailey, where they're like, you can't take the Jays seriously. I mean, I know that they're got a good record, but they're the Jays. Come on. Like let's keep it rolling, and let's finish this thing. We're in the playoffs now, by a little bit. I don't know how much more progress they're going to make, but I think if the team gets in, kind of like how Jordan thinks, we've got, three guys at the top of the rotation that can hold the other team to 3 runs. And the rest is really up to how good the bullpen is and if they can actually score some runs. And I think if you do that, I mean, it's better than, it's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. You're one of 6 or 10 that can do that. I think that's a pretty good, that's a lot better than I felt a month ago.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how, since the MLB season is so long that literally 2 weeks completely changes the outlook of a team. June 20th, where were we? They just lost that series to the Giants, and it was like, oh well, Devers got his lick back. The Giants took 2 of 3.
Alex Jordan.
And now,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, I disappeared for a sec. I'm gonna wrap it up before I disappear again. But yeah, Red Sox take the final game of this 3-game set. For Jason and Brian, I'm Jordan. Until next time, peace out and go Sox.